So at the core of fearful avoidant attachment style or disorganized attachment style is, will you leave me? Are you going to leave me? Now, there might be some other cores, but today we're focusing on that core because I think that is a number one issue that a disorganized attachment style can relate to is, will you leave me? They're always searching for that balance, but at the core, deep down is, are you going to leave me? If they can solve that problem, then it can make disorganized attachment disappear, go away. It's like throwing water on the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. It will cause that issue of fearful avoidant to diminish greatly and to melt away. It is the thing that is in the way. It is the I need a guarantee. Where is my guarantee? We're getting married. Are you going to stay? Are you going to leave? Can I trust that you'll always be here? And any type of trigger that threatens that core, is what causes either side of them, the anxious or the avoidant side, to seesaw and start to act a fool. They need to know that you're going to stay, that they can trust that you're always going to be there, that there's a steadiness, that there's a balance, that I can be who I am. I don't have to put on an act. I don't have to constantly figure out, who am I? Who should I be with you? Which side am I going to be on? It's exhausting. Did I entertain him enough? Did I tell her enough jokes today? Did I say something? Oh, she's a little mad or he's a little irritated with me. Is that going to cause them to leave me? That is at the core. If you could solve that problem, then hey, you got yourself a winner chicken dinner. Yes, you do. Think about all the things you can do with a guarantee. Let's say you're renting a house from somebody and they decide, I want my house back. So you got to get out. So there's this undercurrent. There's always this small possibility that this person can kick you out of their house anytime they want, really. Or at some point. What's more unpredictable than a human being? They want the secure attachment. If there's a guarantee, if they know for sure, and there are people who stay married for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that's what they want. If they could get that in writing, you could take away a lot of the problem. So that's a big clue. That's why a marriage contract is awesome and amazing, because at least there's something to hold on to. If you are dating a disorganized, attached woman and you're stringing her along for years and years and years, you probably are going to see some of the cuckoo come out, because where's the guarantee? Where's the something in writing that makes me feel secure, that you're giving a commitment? That commitment can mean a whole lot to this person. It can quiet a lot of that craziness down. But yeah, they want to know, this is my key, this is the lock. It stays on forever. It stays for good. Without that guarantee, it makes them feel horrible. They also need somewhat of a map to follow, because remember, they may have had some stability, but they also had some unpredictability as well. So they need to know, what is the map? If you can create some type of map, some rules, and I know that might sound restricting to come up with rules. It could just be a couple of rules. It could be a couple of things. It could be hey, these are the chores that we do. I take out the trash, you wash the dishes, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I cook and you wash the dishes. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, I do them. They're just looking for some type of security. They don't need to be in a straitjacket where, oh my gosh, I'm so rigid, I can't. But they might have some areas of rigidity, but they're going to want a little bit of flexibility too. So I'm not saying that. But if there are a couple of things like, how I talked about, I don't know if I talked about this guy who told me, I'll do everything for you, but I don't want you to do anything for me. And what he meant was, hey, I will carry heavy things for you, but I don't need you carrying heavy things for me. That doesn't turn me on. I will nail pictures to the wall for you, but don't nail pictures to the wall for me because that doesn't turn me on. Just him saying that quieted me down. It gave me, as somebody who struggles with disorganized attachment or fearful avoidant attachment style, that gave me something tangible to hold on to when relationships feel so elusive. Love is elusive. It's not a pillow that you hold. It's elusive, and that drives disorganized attachment style crazy, the elusiveness. So if you can give them something to hold on to, that could make a huge difference. Why do you want to stabilize them? Because you want them to give you their best selves. You want them to enjoy you and you want to enjoy them. So keeping them in an unstable state is probably not a smart idea. You're going to get a lot more creativity, a lot more romance, a lot more personality, a lot more funny, a lot more depth in conversation. You're just going to get so much more out of them. That's why I'm saying if you can figure out a little bit of or somewhat of a map to follow or pieces of map to follow, that's going to help them tremendously because they want to stay on the road. They do not want to be getting off of the train tracks. They don't like that. That doesn't make them feel good. So the other thing about him was he would say, don't worry, I'm going to check on you. Or he didn't say those words, but what he meant was, I'm going to check in, so you don't have to worry about that. I know you want to see me. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to come and say hello. Doing that, it built my trust with him tremendously and made me feel 1,000 times more safe because as soon as that side, the anxious side would come up, there he is. He meant what he said and he gave me reassurance, and I desperately needed that reassurance so that I didn't flip into avoidant side when I'm being icy, cold, get away from me. I'm not interested in you. I'm not talking to you. We're done. Let's talk about men versus women, which is always juicy. And that's what this is all about, really. It's about your romantic relationships. So men and women are different. I think this is something that's worth noting. Some people might want to ignore this. I do not. I want to talk about men versus women because we're built different. We have different hormones, different craziness. Our bodies do different things. They work differently. Society has taught us different things. If you've ever worked with a lot of kids, when they're very young, you can see both of them crying a lot, right? The boys and the girls. But the boys get taught, hey, you cut that out. You don't show your feelings. Man up. That's not how men act. And then with little girls, it's kind of, oh, let me cuddle you. Let me hug you. You're crying. You're upset. Oh, they get different responses. That's our society in general. I think some people are trying to work against that or giving boys voice to their feelings. But there are people who say, that's not such a good idea. Don't talk to men about their feelings. Even as adults, I just heard men are from Mars, women are from Venus. John Gray say that. He said that's controversial, but you can ask a man, what do you think about that? Not how do you feel about that, because you bring up his estrogen levels when you start to treat him more like a female. And one of the issues in our society right now is a lot of the roles that used to be played have gone out the window. Why? Women's rights. I think there were men who were abusing their power and their privileges as a man. And so women were mistreated in many ways. And so women started to fight back. The problem is now we have no roles. Everything is super confused. And then you have men trying to reinvent what a man's role is in the red pill, and it's doing nothing but confusing everybody, teaching men how to mistreat women or to manipulate or go outside of their natural thought process, when in fact you really need to treat each other both with love and respect. But I think we need to pay more attention to what works for males versus women, because we think differently. We act differently. What I want is not what you want. They say women need love and men need respect. If I don't feel cherished and adored, that's going to suck for me in a relationship. You can respect me all day long. And a man, his energy gets going when you show him that you respect him, that you honor him. That means you're not talking down to him. You're not talking to him like he's stupid. You're not talking to him like he's an idiot. You're giving him the respect that he craves. And those two roles, they help both people. So to say that male and female has nothing to do with disorganized attachment is a bunch of bull crap. I think we as women are going to lean more towards what? We're going to lean more towards the anxious side. A man in our society is going to lean more towards what? The avoidance side. That's how we've been groomed. That's how our society functions. Not only that, but our hormones play a big role in this. Testosterone and estrogen significantly influence behavior, emotional regulation, and attachment styles in both men and women, though their effects may manifest differently due to biological and social factors. So for the men, testosterone. In men, higher levels of testosterone are often associated with traits such as assertiveness, competitiveness, and risk-taking. It can also contribute to avoidance behaviors in relationships, as men may feel pressure to maintain independence and control, which can align with avoidant attachment styles. In women, testosterone is present in lower levels, but can influence libido, aggression, and assertiveness. It can also affect relationship dynamics, though women may still be more likely to express anxiety and attachment due to social conditioning. Estrogen. In women, estrogen plays a crucial role in emotional regulation, including mood and anxiety levels. It's associated with nurturing behaviors and can enhance emotional connectivity, which may contribute to anxious attachment styles when fear of abandonment is present. In men, estrogen, although present in lower amounts, influences emotional regulation and can affect behaviors related to empathy and attachment. It helps balance the effect of testosterone, promoting social bonding and emotional responsiveness. So overall, the interplay between testosterone and estrogen can shape how men and women experience and express attachment styles, with societal norms and individual experiences further influencing these behaviors. The reason I think we need to talk about this is because you might look at a man and a woman and you might say, oh, she's anxiously attached, or you might say the guy is avoidant, has an avoidant attachment style, when in fact they actually have a disorganized style or a fearful avoidance, in other words, because they're going to lead, I think, one side of the seesaw is going to take more precedence over the other. But you got to remember that these folks are going to have both housed within them. So let's talk about the anxious side of the seesaw. So that one is going to be more prevalent in a woman, although I'm not saying she doesn't have that avoidant side in her, because she does. And that's where the roller coaster comes in. But let's take a look really quickly at what somebody who is anxiously attached, how they act. So we got this male and this female, and they're working together, right? Okay, so the anxiously attached female decides that, ooh, I like my new coworker. Oh, he is hot. So she has a set of keys for her office, And she also has a copy of the key to his office and vice versa. She decides that they will both have keys to both offices. So that's a little much, but I want to paint a picture of how anxious attachment style can look. So this person is not giving this guy any privacy at all. She's totally taking over everything. He's new, so he doesn't know how to do a lot of things. So she kind of demasculates him because she takes over all his jobs. Oh, I can handle that part, or I can do that. Don't worry about it, because she's so busy doing other manipulation tactics to get them to always be together. So she creates problems and issues that, oh, we've got to be together on this. We've got to work together on this piece because you understand this part and I understand that part. So we got to be together all the time. And then he's like, well, I don't seem to have time to get any of my job done. Oh, don't worry, I'll knock those out. So she knocks out the parts that he can't get to just so that they can be together all the time. He says, you know what? I just need a moment. Can I have 30 minutes to eat lunch? She's like, but I want us to be close. I want us to be like not just coworkers, but friends too. I want us to feel a closeness and want to eat lunch together. And it's like every day, want to eat lunch together. And he's like, no, because he needs that time to himself. So has his lunch, has the lights out, just taking a moment. What does she do? She comes in and she opens up the door and she lets herself into his room and starts eating lunch with him, even though he has clearly stated that he does not want to eat lunch with anyone. He wants to eat lunch alone. And so this person is just constantly coming up with reasons for them to be together, not giving him any space at all. It's too freaking much. It's too much. So yeah, she has a crush on this guy. That's not a turn on. That's a turn off. It's like you're sitting in his lap all the time. That's what an attachment style can feel like. I've known women who have also bought men the most expensive tennis shoes. Oh, you need a gadget for your computer? I got you. Oh, I bought you an expensive watch. I'm doing all these things so that you don't have a choice but to attach to me. Like, I'm not giving you, oh, I'm going to cook all your meals. Or I'll come clean your house. I'll do everything for you. It's like, I'm not going to give you an out because I feel anxious and I want to make sure that you don't avoid me at any point because I need you. Like, it's too clingy. It's clingy on another level that would drive anybody bananas. And honestly, somebody who is disorganized attachment style, that's going to freak them out, male or female. If they have a friend that is that clingy, like sometimes it can work in their favor, like because it gives sense on one hand of security, like, okay, this person is always going to be here. Remember what we talked about in the beginning. This person is always here. I don't have to worry about them leaving me. But then that too close all the time can trigger the avoidance and make them go completely bananas and bonkers. But in our society, which one is the woman going to lead with? More so, it's going to be the anxious side. Women have babies. We have to bond with them. We have to attach to them. So in a sense, we are comfortable with the anxious attachment style. We want to feel close. If you do not satisfy that side of a female, you are 1000% going to either trigger stage 5 clinger, or they're going to tap into that avoidance style where I'm pushing you away. I'm too distant. I don't trust you anymore because you're not giving me enough of what I need on the anxious side, which is to feel like we're connecting, like we're bonding, like you're giving me that safety and security. Women always say, I need safety and security in a relationship. It's no different in a disorganized attachment style. So yes, women with a disorganized attachment style can often lean more towards anxious behavior. This can manifest as a heightened fear of abandonment, a strong desire for closeness, and intense emotional responses in relationships. Societal expectations and socialization may encourage women to express their emotions more openly, which can lead to behaviors such as clinginess or preoccupation with their partner's availability and responsiveness. So it's important to know that attachment styles can vary, and not all women will fit this pattern. There's a little bit more of a leader and a little bit of a follower inside of this disorganized attachment style. Let's talk about the side that the man is going to lead with. I think the man is going to lead with the avoidant side if he has both housed inside of him. And the point of today is to help you understand both sides of the coin, the avoidant side and the anxious side. Now let's focus on the avoidant side. So let me just give you a couple of examples or share with you a couple of things. So I was listening to this other guy's podcast and he was interviewing this guy. You may have seen the video. And the guy was talking about trust. And trust is a huge part of an avoidant attachment style's anatomy. So this guy was like, oh no, I start at 100 below zero as far as trusting anybody. Like, can you imagine having to climb 100 steps to get to the top just so that you're at zero and you haven't even started the relationship? So you're starting with that huge of a deficit. That's how much this guy doesn't trust anybody. He also had a more assertive Enneagram personality where he was more confrontational, direct, say it like it is. He also had his goodbye speech ready. An avoidant is always ready to walk out the door at all times. It's not you, it's me. He would also spend the entire relationship starting little arguments that would prove that the woman was not trustworthy, not talking about cheating. We're just talking about trusting a human being, trusting that you'll be here, trusting that you're safe, trusting that I should be involved with you. And so he would set her up to fail. So that's not giving a person a chance. That's one version of avoidant person. I'm about to call him a personality disorder, but it ain't that deep, but it is an attachment style. There's another type of avoidant attachment style that looks like this. I knew someone whose husband would do all the things, like he's going to serve you in every way in the relationship, which is what they say you should let men do, as serve you, find things that he can do, problems to solve, those sorts of things. So he would cook. So he would make her plate and sit it somewhere where she could find it. He would give her lots of presents for Christmas, birthdays. He's going to give her a ton of presents for those holidays. He could be very giving in that way. If something needed to be fixed, he would probably fix it. He could be a little all over the place, but payday, he would put his money somewhere where she could find it. It would often be in different places, but alas, here's my share of the rent. But if she walked into the room where they watch TV, the game room or whatever, he would tell her, move, move. That was his favorite word. If she tried to sit at the table and eat with him, move. He's going to pick up his plate. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to go to the sofa. If he's sitting in the bedroom watching TV, relaxing and chilling, and she comes in at 6:00 p.m. and decides, hey, what you're watching, I want to sit and watch too. Goes his favorite word again, move, move. And then he would get up and go somewhere else. So there was no connection. There was no communication. They were cohabitating. And of course, they ended up getting a divorce. And on his way out the door, he told her that he was good to her. But there was very little communication, very little talking, no hand holding, no, none of that. But then she would see him interact with other people. He would give his mother lots of hugs and he would have these big conversations and be funny with everyone else. But even when they were in public with other people or at a gathering, if she tried to talk to him, he would look at her like, don't start. And he even called her clingy. But she said, I spent most of the 10 years that we were together in a separate room from him at all times. So, I mean, if you want to make somebody clingy, because this person was very much an introverted female, she definitely liked her space, needed her space, didn't have the need to really talk to a lot of people or hang out with a lot of people, just very kind of an independent type person, really. But if you do that to anybody, that's not a relationship. That's not what a relationship is about. So those are two different versions of avoidance. And so that's also housed inside of a disorganized attachment style. So, yes, males with disorganized attachment style may sometimes lean more towards avoidant behavior. Disorganized attachment often stems from inconsistent caregiving or trauma in early relationships, leading to confusion about intimacy and trust. While both genders can exhibit avoidant traits, societal norms and expectations may influence males to adopt avoidant coping mechanisms more prominently. This can result in them distancing themselves in relationships, struggling with a vulnerability, and having difficulty expressing emotions, even though they may simultaneously crave connection and fear abandonment. Each individual's experience will, of course, vary based on personal history and context. Avoidants do not like too much emotion that can send them running for the hills. They don't like vulnerability, and that's within themselves and in other people. So that could be a trigger. So imagine having both things housed inside yourself, where there are times when you do tap into emotions and you're comfortable and you're feeling very vulnerable and you're tapped into your emotional side and someone else's emotional side. And then you go from that to absolutely allergic to the same thing. How would you feel? So when you combine the avoidant side with the anxious side, you get disorganized attachment style, aka fearful avoidant. And that phrase, please don't leave me, can be closely associated with disorganized attachment style when you put the two things together. Individuals with this attachment style often experience a deep fear of abandonment and may have inconsistent or chaotic relationships. They might crave closeness, but also feel anxious about being hurt or rejected, leading to a push and pull dynamic in their interactions. This fear of being left alone can manifest as clinginess or intense emotional responses, making it challenging to form stable and trusting relationships. So in the delicate dance of love, where hearts sometimes clash and intertwine, navigating the complexities of disorganized attachment can feel like walking a tightrope between fear and desire. But fear not, because the path to healing can be as beautiful as the love you seek. Imagine a gentle embrace, a sanctuary where vulnerability is met with understanding. Together, you can create a safe space where the whisper of "please don't leave me" transforms into a promise of unwavering presence. Each moment spent together can be an opportunity to nurture trust, like watering a tender seedling, allowing it to blossom into a resilient bond. Recognize the symphony of hormones that play within you, testosterone's strength and estrogen's warmth, and how they shape your emotions. Embrace your differences, knowing that these variations can deepen your connection. Encourage open conversations about your fears and desires, allowing each word to weave a tapestry of intimacy that binds your souls. In moments of anxiety, remind each other that love is a journey, not a destination. Hold hands through the storms of doubt and celebrate the small victories of connection. With patience and compassion, you can turn the shadows of disorganization into a harmonious melody of love, where the refrain of transforms into "I am here and I choose you." Together, you can write a story of resilience where each chapter brings healing and understanding, turning fear into trust and anxiety into a profound connection that stands the test of time. Let love be your guiding star, illuminating the way forward hand in hand. All of that sounds really pretty, but I'm about to ruin it because when you have disorganized attachment style, when you flip into one of your modes, let's say you're feeling really attached to someone and then you become afraid, what happens sometimes is that fear of abandonment becomes so strong. It's like if you were to take your fingers and grip them between each other and lock them, and you can't get out of that lock. And so you start to freak out because you're feeling constant butterflies that won't go away. You're feeling constant nervousness and just an energy that's so heightened that you can't think straight anymore. You're obsessing over your thoughts. It feels horrible. You're afraid of getting in too deep with this person because they might leave you. They might end the relationship. They may not stay steady and in it with you. And that is such if they get into that type of toxic ring, you can forget it because avoidant is going to take over because that's the only way they can get a break. So they may miss out on somebody who was really worthy of love, somebody that was going to be steady and consistent, but they just can't stand that feeling. So they have to work things out. And one of the ways that we work these things out is by watching videos like this one, where you can understand what's going on and what you need. You need somebody who can give you the stability. And maybe somebody might say that's too much pressure on a person, but what you get back in return from a steady and balanced and a healed, disorganized attachment is worth it, because this person's personality is going to usually be pretty amazing. They can give very deep and amazing love. So we just got to quiet that energy. Let's say you've been working really hard to heal and you have one of these episodes. Tell yourself it's okay. This is just a moment in time. It will pass. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, but know that tomorrow will be better. And if you struggle with love, you might want to check out my book, Flip the Script on Love, where I talk about a lot of different areas of love to try to strengthen your romantic relationships. And if the person is too difficult, then you might be walking outside of an attachment style and into a personality disorder like narcissistic personality disorder, which are people who can be incredibly difficult to get along with. So I wrote a book to try to help you guys out with that. I'll put the link in the description box, and let me know if you can relate to any of this attachment style video, what other attachment style videos you want me to make. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel while I'm on this short journey of discovery. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.